Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to have to be candid. I haven't switched yet to the mayor role, so give me a second. I will get there, I promise. We've been running all day. It feels like we're here at the next thing, so let's go, right? Let's get through this. We would like to open things up with citizen participation. Anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda tonight, so anything that's not on the agenda, please approach the podium and you'll be given 5 minutes to speak.
Hi, I don't need 5 minutes. My name is Bishop Davidson. I'm acquainted with many of you and have sat down with a lot of you as well. You've probably seen me back here before, hopefully. I've been in and out of city council meetings across our district for the last year and a half. I wasn't able to make our last city council meeting, but I wanted to present myself to you now as a representative-elect, not just a candidate, and all of my commitments remain the same. I'm going to be here as often as I can, but I'm committed not only to representing the individuals in our district, but also the city governments of our district. So if we haven't had a chance to really get acquainted, or if there's any reticence in approaching me, I hope you feel like you're always able to talk with me. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I really won't be here next spring. Session is Monday through Thursday, maybe spring recess or something like that. But if after that you guys would like some sort of legislative update or anything along those lines, I'm happy to do so.
Does anyone have any questions for Bishop? Well, Bishop, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak for citizen participation? Seeing none, we will close citizen participation and move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Boards, commissions, and committee schedules. We will have a city council meeting January 5th, 2021, a board of adjustment meeting January 7th, 2021, planning and zoning meeting January 11th, 2021, and then our second January city council meeting will be January 19th, 2021. Please mark your calendars accordingly. Moving on to old business and tabled items, number 4 on our agenda. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-52 by title only.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, amending the municipal code of the City of Republic, Missouri by amending Title I Government Code, Chapter 145, Financial Policy and Procedures regarding financial policies.
Ms. Parks was here last time to give us an overview, and she's here to answer any questions that the council may have this evening. Seeing no questions, I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-52.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. As such, we're going to move to a roll call vote. This roll call vote will be done on our computers. Please place your vote. Submit vote.
Councilmember Poole?
Well, it says it's not open.
That says voting not open.
Try it.
Now,
Yeah, well, I know how to do that. It's not that I'm stupid.
It's a technology is touching. That is what it is. Motion passes 8-0. Moving on to item number 5, I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-53 by title only.
Motion. Second.
I have motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, amending various sections of the municipal code of the City of Republic, Missouri regarding fees.
Ms. Parks is here and will be for a while, I imagine. And we'll answer any questions that the council has. Does the council have any questions?
I got one.
Yes.
on your, let me find it again. Claiming impound animal fee is $10. You're going to raise it to $50. In my opinion, that's a little high. I'm afraid you're going to end up with more dogs instead of less.
Okay.
I can address that later. So and Christina would be better to tell the story than me, obviously, but generally, when we impound an animal, it's a long list of nuisance problems. So, if you or if our dog gets out and that's not something that's a frequent occurrence, if they're not aggressive, we don't ever charge the impound fee. It's typically associated with a violation of some kind. So, just an innocent event, something that just happens once in a while, that's not where we get into the impound fees.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-53.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We're now going to take a roll call vote on our computers. Click refresh. You should have a yay, abstain, or nay options. Please vote, and then click submit vote.
It should be working.
You bring up what I need to.
You want a voice vote? Councilmember Poole?
I'll get over it.
She wasn't in her voting. She just
Ms. Poole, you're allowed to vote by voice, so if you want to vote yay or nay or abstain, those are your options.
Well, this says I'm in again with Microsoft, and so
We'll
I
just do
messed
voice
up.
votes for you, it's okay.
We'll move to a voice vote, so if you want to vote yay or nay or abstain.
Oh, yes.
Very well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Ordinance passes 8-0. Moving on to item number 6. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-54 by title only.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, amending the municipal code of the City of Republic, Missouri by amending Title VII Utilities regarding utility billing.
Ms. Parks is here to answer any questions that we may have as a council. Does any of the council have any questions? Seeing none, I will move this to, I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We will now move to a roll call vote. This will be conducted on the computer. Click refresh. Pass your vote. And Laura's going to go do surgery on the computer.
Yes. All right. Councilmember Poole?
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 7. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-55 by title only.
Second.
Motion and a lot of seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving amending the zoning code and official map by changing the classification of approximately 0.33 acres located at 341 West Summit Street from medium density single-family residential R1M to two-family residential R2.
Now, we had staff here last time to explain us about this ordinance, and we have staff here again to explain it, but you didn't present last time, did you?
I did not, no.
Memory short. Does the council have any questions about this ordinance? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-55.
Motion.
Second.
We are now going to take a roll call vote. Please click refresh and cast your vote. Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 8 on the agenda. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-56 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Hartman and Company for public stormwater improvements to Garden Business Park.
Mr. Nelson gave us an overview last time, but he is here to answer any questions should council have any. Seeing no questions, I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-56.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We're going to move to roll call vote. Please click refresh, cast your vote, and don't forget to hit submit vote. Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 9 on our agenda, I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-57 by title only.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, amending the municipal code of the City of Republic, Missouri by amending Title II, Public Health, Safety, and Welfare, Chapter 215, Offenses, Article 4, Offenses concerning weapons and firearms regarding the city sunset date for hunting in certain agricultural areas in the city.
Mr. Eisen was here last time to give us an overview, and he'll be glad to answer any questions you have tonight. Does the council have any questions? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-57.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll now move to a roll call vote. Please click refresh, cast your vote, and then hit submit vote. Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 10 on the agenda, I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 20-58 by title only.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving the annexation of approximately 40.9 acres of land located at 7576 West Farm Road 186 and Jason Highway.
Ms. Haynes was here last time to give us an overview, and she's here again tonight to answer any questions. Does council have any questions? Seeing none, we will now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 20-58.
Motion.
Second.
We now are going to take a roll call vote. Please click refresh, cast your vote, and don't forget to hit submit vote. Motion carries 8-0. Did you see how many different ways I said they appear to cover any ground from last week? Does anyone have any questions? I asked it differently each and every time. I took some special time to come up with 8 different ways to do that. So I just want to draw it.
Really good. Good job.
New business. Number 11 on the agenda. This is a public hearing of the City Council, the City of Republic, Missouri, regarding approving the annexation of approximately 15.52 acres located in the 7300 block of West Farm Road 170 and the adjacent right-of-way. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing about that topic. Is there anyone here wishing to speak to council on this matter? Please approach the podium and you will be given 5 minutes to speak.
My name is Neil Stinger. I'm with Murney Associates Realtors. I represent the owner of the property. The only comment I'd make is the extension of Bailey Road is going to cross this 15 acres. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about the project or about the property.
Does anyone on council have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other citizens wishing to speak to the still public hearing? Yeah, I know. We made this mistake last time. It's on me.
I do it every time.
It's all right, but at least we're consistent. Are there any other citizens that would like to speak to this? Seeing that none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Moving on to item number 12 on the agenda, I need a motion and a second for the first read of Bill 20-59 by title only.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri approving the annexation of approximately 15.5 acres located in the 7300 block of West Farm Road 170 and adjacent right-of-way.
Ms. Haynes is here to give us an overview. Ma'am, please.
Thank you. I do have the map. This is the vicinity map of the subject parcel I'll be discussing. So the current property owner, Alpine Homes, Inc., has submitted a voluntary annexation request for the subject parcel for a future multifamily residential development. The request includes annexation of the adjacent right-of-way, which is West Farm Road 170. City water and sanitary sewer service is available in proximity to the property. Subsequent review of water, sewer, and stormwater will be considered at the time of application for rezone and/or development. The subject parcel is compact and contiguous with the city limits of the City of Republic. You can see all of the parcels that are shaded in yellow are currently in the City of Republic. So we have a parcel directly to the north. We have Westwood subdivision to the southwest, and then we have some properties across 170 to the north. The future land use designation of the subject parcel is commercial. This includes retail and office uses, including small neighborhood shopping centers and isolated retail businesses. The annexation, if approved by council, will effectively zone the parcel as C2, general commercial. We do have an ordinance that requires all annexed properties to be classified in the zoning designation corresponding to Greene County's zoning. Staff has reviewed the annexation request, and we are recommending approval. I will show you one additional map. This is the zoning map. This shows the pinkish property here is C1. We have C2 across the street and along US Highway 60. And then the bright yellow is R1H, which is high-density residential.
Do we have any questions from council? Excellent. We'll see no questions. Please keep in mind this is a first read, so if you do have any questions, please get with staff before the next council meeting. Moving on to other business, specifically resolutions. Item number 13. This is Resolution 20-R-50, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing task order number 11 with Burns McDonald to evaluate the impact of the capital improvement plan on the water utility financial plan and rates. I need a motion and a second to take up Resolution 20-R-50.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have Mr. Brickner here to give us an overview. I like it that he's waited to kind of give us you've strolled up to the podium. This is really built the anticipation. Am I helping or hurting?
We'll see. Good evening. So this task order is very similar to task order number 9, which looks at our wastewater rates. What this one will authorize Burns Mac to do is also look at our water utility rates, and that will help us in adjusting the rates in the future if we need to, and it will help us assess if we have the rates set at a level that we can implement the capital improvement plan outlined in the water master plan that was adopted earlier this year. They're looking at they think they can have this rate done in time for, to kind of coincide with the wastewater rate study as well. That'll all lead into an SRF discussion, which is a state revolving fund loan for wastewater improvements and capital improvements throughout the city. So,
Would you refresh my recollection? How long you said similar time frame? What is that time frame?
this one in particular, they have 120 days after execution is when they think they can be done. So they'll add that on top of the wastewater rate study they're doing now.
Any other questions from council? All right, seeing none, and as this is a resolution, I will call for a vote immediately. All those in favor of this resolution?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 14 on our agenda. This is 20-R-51, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding the design, engineering, and environmental services related to the extension of the Schuler Creek Trail and authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement for said services. I need a motion and a second to take up resolution 20-R-51.
Motion.
Second. A motion and a second. Mr. Brickner is still here with no long walk to the podium.
Thank you. So this is probably the third or fourth time a version or something relating to the Schuler Creek Trail extension has been brought before you. But just to kind of go over it again, we did receive a grant from OTO last year to fund the trail extension. It's a 80-20 split with the maximum federal kick-in of $866,000. So what this portion is for is just the engineering and environmental clearance. So there's a lot of environmental stuff. We have to make sure there's no protected species or anything like that. That'll be where the trail is going to align. This will also give us right-of-way plans to allow Greene County to go out to start trying to acquire that right-of-way that we need to build this trail. That's part of their match to this whole thing. So this portion, the total cost is estimated at, or is maximum not to exceed of $221,878, which the city will ultimately be responsible for $44,375 of that. So it's a pretty good deal for us. We do have to float the cash, and then we'll get reimbursed as the project moves along. And this will be funded out of the capital improvement sales tax. So any questions on that one?
No questions or discussion from council? Seeing none then, as this is a resolution, we'll move directly to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 15 on the agenda, 20-R-52, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of one 2021 Dodge Durango. I need a motion and a second to take up resolution 20-R-52.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, multiple motions and multiple seconds. We're good to go. Chief Compton is here to give us an overview.
Good evening. This is a replacement vehicle that was included in the 2020 operating budget. We have elected to go with a Dodge Durango. It was about a $6,000 cost savings over a Ford Explorer. The contract price was $26,717. There's a $150 delivery fee, which they will bring it from Jeff City to Republic. That's easily justified because it's going to take 2 staff people most of the day. It's going to kill a whole day to go get it. We will have to purchase some lights and emergency lighting equipment to go with that, but that will not require council approval. Other than that, that's about it.
Do we have any questions or discussion from council?
Yes, sir.
Is this a replacement?
Yeah, Deputy Chief Hollingsworth will drive this. Then we will take his vehicle and kind of put it into the pool vehicle. We have a Ford Escape that needs to find another home.
Anything else from the council? Seeing nothing else, and as this is a resolution, we will move directly to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to item number 16 on our agenda, 20-R-53, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding the bid for the server hardware and licensing upgrade. I need a motion and a second to take up resolution 20-R-53.
Motion.
We've got a motion and a second. Mr. Jones is here to give us an overview.
Good evening.
Sir.
The IT department has had a server hardware upgrade in its capital improvement plan for the last few years. Our equipment is currently between 8 to 10 years old. I don't have the original purchase documentation to verify that, but nonetheless, it's generally expected about roughly a 5-year lifespan for server hardware. On top of that, the majority of our servers are virtualized inside those physical server environment, and our licensing is 50% of those virtual servers are licensed in an outdated operating system that's no longer supported by Microsoft, and we don't receive security patches. So this is kind of a 2-part invitation for bid that we put out as a result of some extra funds that came up this year with some favorable tax revenues. And we went ahead and wanted to go out for bid for it, and we put in both an upgrade for the hardware and the licensing that will be needed to implement this hardware. We put out the bid to many different vendors, and ultimately only 2 submitted a bid. CDW is a company that normally bids on IT equipment for us, and they missed the deadline by 2 hours, so we couldn't even open theirs. So it knocked it down to 2 for us. Those 2 bidders were Dell Technologies and then Pearson Kelly, who is our third-party IT provider. Between those 2, only one was responsive. Dell submitted a bid, but after a conversation with them and opening it, we saw that they were significantly lower in price, and realized that they missed an item on the IFB that specified that we're needing to license virtual servers, which significantly changes the quantities of things that they're licensing, and that's why it was so much cheaper. So with that item alone, it would take almost an extra $30,000 on top of their bid price to get us what we actually needed in the minimum requirements of the IFB. So with that, Pearson Kelly became the only responsive bidder that submitted a bid, and objectively their bid was competitive and met all of our needs. So with that information, we did decide to go ahead and recommend the approval of their bid.
What's the time, sorry to go first, but I have a question. So if we decide to go forward with this, what's the time frame of getting it done? What sort of downtime are you looking at? Or those questions that maybe I shouldn't be asking?
No, those are great questions. We would start as soon as we get the hardware in our hands and the purchase was made. But I would realistically think that would be mid-January when we'd start physically implementing the hardware. And it's put up side by side with our current infrastructure. And you can migrate those kind of a hot migration, as you might call it, where everything stays online. Because what we do have right now is, and you may remember a year ago, I came for you guys and requested a purchase of storage for our servers. So that is not changing. That's still good hardware that's going to be attached to this replacement of the servers, utilizing it. So you'll make double connections to that new hardware. So actually, you're not really turning anything off until the new environment's created and online. So it's pretty seamless with no downtime.
Are you doing the work, somebody in your office, or is Pearson Kelly coming in to do it for us?
It would be both. They are responsible for some of that work under our contract with them, but being our environment, we want to be involved in that. So between me and our IT technician, Michael, we will be very involved in that project. And it would roughly look like a 2 to 3 week process, because you kind of look at each server one at a time and make sure that people's applications and file storages are not being altered in any way that they wouldn't know about until after the fact. So it would be a process, but both of us would be involved in that. And there would be no labor, extra labor as part of that purchase.
That's all I've got, guys. Any other questions? Seeing no questions, and as this is a resolution, we will move directly to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to number 17 on our agenda. That's right, we're on 17. All right, perfect. Middle. 17, 20-R-54, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Ozark Coca-Cola / Dr. Pepper Bottling Company to be the exclusive beverage provider to the City of Republic for all park-related activities and at recreational facilities. I need a motion and a second to take up Resolution 20-R-54.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Keelan, you want to end this?
This is always a popular or unpopular thing. Every 3 years, our department issues a formal RFP for exclusive beverage provider rights for the company to supply beverages for us to resell all farm-related activities in municipal facilities. As you can imagine, in a non-COVID year, we go through a lot of products. So we'll go through anywhere between 1,800 to 2,000 cases per year. If you equate that to dollars, it's about $20,000 to $25,000 a year we're going to spend with this vendor, $60,000 to $75,000 over the course of a 3-year agreement. We had a very competitive RFP this time. It was really close, within a penny and a half between Coke and Pepsi, which are the 2 major providers, of course, in the area. Ultimately, Coke did come in cheaper. It's not strictly a price-based decision. The Coke did come in a penny and a half cheaper on all the carbonated beverages, water, and sports drinks. We've been with Coke for a number of years, actually ever since I've been here. Been providing exceptional customer service. Mr. Bill Peterson is here tonight with Coca-Cola. He does a great job at serving us. So I would definitely recommend to go ahead and renew or go with them for the new agreement for the 3 years.
Do we have any questions or discussion from council? Seeing none, I guess I'll just go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Moving on to reports from staff. What do you think, Mr. Keelan? You got stuff?
Yes, some stuff. I'll keep it short though. Sales tax revenue came in for the month of December. Once again, came in strong. The City of Republic, we continue to experience great favor in sales tax. So the sales tax numbers for December were up 10.7 year over year. That puts us at year-end, close of year-end, over 2019, 13.36% over our 2019 sales tax numbers. So what a difference that has made. It's enabled us to make adjustments, and one adjustment I do want to speak to is, as you can remember, in the 2021 budget, we proposed a pay increase for the members of our public safety, police, and fire. We were going to make that happen 1/1 of 21. We're actually going to go ahead and make that happen 12/1 of this year. So thank you for your support on that, and really happy to make that happen for our police and fire. That took us from one of the, I would say, on the low end pay-wise in fire, police in the region, and put us above average. So that's a great thing to do for our public safety personnel, and I know they were greatly appreciative of it, and I'm sure Dwayne, Brian can speak to that, but happy to make that happen, and thank you for your support of that. So Highway 60 and 174, it's taking shape. It's really looking good out there. Thanks to MoDOT, first of all. There were other players involved, but thanks to MoDOT for doing the work. And what was the number we committed towards that project for some extras?
About 180,000.
Yeah, so the 180,000 we committed towards the project were for sidewalk additions. Those sidewalk additions off of 174 to 60 up to Hines, and also Blackwood, the signal poles and the street light poles you see out there. I really do believe it's going to look good and obviously function much, much better, which is the intent of it for safety. So it's really taking shape. I think, Andrew, you said maybe by the end of the month, the new traffic pattern will be there.
Yeah, I think the latest update was about the 15th of December. They're looking at, you can kind of see how it's going to end up lining up. If you're headed into Springfield, you'll be swinging over toward 174 and curving back toward Hamilton.
32,000 cars a day on that corridor. It can only get better, so happy to have that happening. I don't want to understate the value of the trail Mr. Brinker brought up here. That is a major win for this community. We have been wanting to do that. We got the first phase of that trail done in 2004-ish, so if that tells you how long we've been wanting to get that project done. This will be a major win for our city. Ultimately, we may have regional connectivity with the city of Springfield through the Ozark Greenway Trail system, but 1.8 miles, I believe, from the existing stopping point all the way out to WCNV is a major win. I can only imagine down Elm and down that trail corridor, the residential development will follow. But that is so cool for our community. And the South Creek Greenway from Springfield can connect to WCNV. We could have ultimate connectivity from Republic to Springfield, and that would be a pretty special thing for walkers, runners, and bikers. So, what a great thing for us. Holiday lighting at Deer Martin Park. If you haven't seen it, please go out and see it. It looks really good out there. Our guys did a great job in doing that, but we're only going to build upon that going forward. Our ultimate idea for that is to have a 15 to 20 minute walk-through experience and have it a regional draw for the city of Republic. We're starting small. This year we added a little tunnel where you can go in there. I'm not a selfie taker. I don't know what that is hardly, but you can go in there as a family or as a person and take a selfie under this big tunnel of lights. It was the thing to do at Silver Dog City last year, so we recreated it at our place. And it really was good. If you haven't had a chance to go out there, either from your car or from walk through it, definitely do so. It really looks sharp. So, and this will be the last meeting we have before the holidays. So just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Appreciate all you do for us. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Anything from council? Mr. Dunn.
Just a question on the remodel of the courtroom. How's that going?
Great question. That's going to be a great project for us as well. Now, if we're still in COVID time, we're not going to be able to occupy the space. But construction started on it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's really taking shape and it's going to look spectacular. What I'm excited more than anything, obviously excited for city council, but I'm excited for the customer experience that's going to be in that space. If you come to our old city hall, there were some challenges there. Challenges with audio-visual, challenges with seating, challenges with space. But the new space, obviously much more accommodating in terms of the number of different variables. But as you can imagine, on a raised dais with all the AV systems going, and to be able to, might not have to do that every meeting, whatever all that is back there. It's a win for us and it's a win for the city. So it's taking shape. We think if COVID can go away, we could be in there by early April 1. So.
Thank you.
Election notification.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for the reminder. Laura, if you can help me out, or Scott can help me out if I stumble through this. But the first day to file for a seat, we have 4 council seats, and the mayor's position will come open. The first day to file is December the 15th, with a deadline to file of January 19th at 4:30 p.m. So if you're interested in serving on our city council, please, we encourage you to be interested in serving our city council. Make sure you file beginning on December the 15th. Is that correct, Laura?
That is correct.
Thank you for the reminder as well.
Ms. Cool, do you have something?
Laura. This is our gift to you from City Council. And Brandon, I left it open so he can sign it. His money's in there, but his name's not on the card, so you have to let him sign it. But we appreciate all you do.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Frank?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I'll try to be short, but I may be a bit long-winded seeing how it's our last meeting. 2020 has definitely been challenging, I know, for a lot of us in all of our everyday lives. It's definitely the year of doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. I'm extremely proud of our community, of David's hard work, Jared, Scott, Laura, all of the Republic staff, the department leadership, the city employees, our fire and our police, and our mayor and council. It's an extreme privilege to me to have an honor to serve alongside all of you, and you're all a great group of people. Thank you to our former mayor, Jeff Ussery, for all of his hard work this year and the protections that he provided to us. I would also like to thank our state representative, Jeffrey Messenger, for his continued service to those of us here in the 130th district. And also congratulations to Mr. Davidson. We're looking forward to having you protect our rights in Jeff City, and looking forward to that first visit in your new office. I would also like to thank Greene County Commissioner Harold Bench for his 60-plus years of service to Greene County and the citizens here in western Greene County. And congratulations to Rusty McLaughlin, who is our new Greene County Commissioner-elect. 2021 is going to be a great year. And most importantly, thank you to all of the citizens of the Republic. We live in a very special part of the Ozarks, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Anyone else? As mayor, I guess I get to have the last word, so I'll keep it short. Merry Christmas, and if anybody wants to come to watch a third grade rec basketball team, I'm going to go watch my kid play basketball at 8 o'clock at the field house. So if anybody wants to come, let's go. Merry Christmas. Thanks for letting me do this, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Meeting adjourned.